What's up, you guys? Welcome back again to your Heroclix headquarters. Today, I've got yet another Avengers theme team for you guys. Yes, I know I do Avengers a lot. I love Avengers. I play them often. But this specifically is the team I played at Heroclix for Huntingtons at the 400-point silver theme team event. So if you didn't know, just to be specific, those rules meant that everything on the team, including the sideline, had to share a printed keyword. So there's no keyword shenanigans, no Scott Porters this time. They all have to share a printed keyword, including the sideline. And the sideline was also cut in half, I believe. I think you could only have, and as far as theme events go, I think you can only have half the game elements. So I just wanted to point that out because a lot of people were actually confused about that. A lot of people had to drop out because they didn't realize they couldn't play keyword cheating shenanigans. Anyway, because this was silver, one of the main things I wanted to play was Black Leopard, one of my favorite figures from back in the day. And of course, if you guys don't already know what he does, he's a pretty cool Prime figure. He does something that nobody else can do. So let's take a look at his card here. He's got Avengers keyword, of course. Like I said, this is an Avengers theme team, so everything is going to share Avengers. He's got improvement for hindering, which no longer matters anymore. But the main thing here is this trait that the maximum attack, defense, and damage values of opposing characters within 6 squares in line of fire are each equal to Black Leopard's printed value of the same type. So that's really good, as long as you can manage to get within 6 in line of fire of everybody. And then he also has Leadership and Perplex on his special damage power, and when he uses Perplex to target himself, you can modify the chosen value +2 instead if an opposing character within 6 squares in line of fire has a higher printed value of the chosen value than Black Leopard's printed value. So basically, he's got 10 movement, 10 attack, 17 defense, 3 damage, basic stats. If any opposing character within 6 in line of fire has a higher one of those than him, he can +2 Perplex himself, which is pretty nice. And as long as he stays within 6 in line of fire, they're going to be maximum his combat values. So it's really, really strong. It means that as long as he can see somebody within 6 squares of him, they will not have a higher than 17 defense, which means it's really easy to hit them nowadays with all these 12 plus attacks that we have. And they will not have a higher than 10 attack, which makes it a lot harder for them to hit you with all of our 19 plus defenses. And they will not have more than a 3 damage either, so they can't pump up their damage to crazy numbers and just one-shot anything. So he's really, really good, and I have liked using him a lot. So I actually started to build this team around a team that I played back in the day at Arkansas States. I placed second with this team. So if you guys have been following me for a while and been watching the channel for a while, you might recognize a lot of this team. So first of all, to start with, I did want to play him with Voyager. I think Voyager is insanely good in Silver Age, and we'll take a look at why I think that is. For one, her trait here at the beginning of the game, if an opposing force includes an additional game element, you can heal her 1 click above her starting line to click number 0. So that would be this click here. So she gets an extra attack, defense, and outwit instead of perplex, which is nice, and an extra click of health, but it's nothing too crazy, but pretty much you almost guarantee get that extra click every single game. Somebody always has an equipment or something else with them. But the main reason we're playing her is because of this trait here that gives her Passenger 1 or Passenger 3, but only to carry characters that share a keyword with her, and she may carry characters with flight or giant size. The giant size is really important there, but Passenger 3 and being able to carry giants is incredibly useful as long as they share a keyword, which she does have Avengers, Elders of the Universe, and Cosmic, which Avengers and Cosmic are big enough keywords that you got a lot of options there. And then she also has this really cool special telekinesis power, but only to place characters, and when she uses it, neither she nor the target character's square need line of fire to the destination square. That can really come in handy sometimes. People never really see that coming when you TK somebody through a wall and then they're just on the other side of it ready to attack you. That can really get the surprise on people. But she's also Power Cosmic, and it got Avengers TA, which is nice. Actually, the Avengers TA on her used to be a lot better when it was +1 movement for move actions because of her 14 phase teleport and Passenger 3. Now the +1 attack doesn't really help her out much. She's not really doing any attacking. But regardless of that, yeah, 14 phase teleport in today's game is absolutely nuts. And, you know, on smaller maps, that's... the maps are like 16 squares now. You're literally dropping your whole team right in front of their face. Even on longer maps, you can get her to carry your whole team up and drop them off pretty much right in front of them as well. And I'll talk a little bit more about that later. But for one thing, actually, I should go over some of the equipment I had on these two specifically. So on Voyager, I did have her equipped with the Cloak of Levitation for, you know, she doesn't really need the flight. The plasticity is nice or whatever, but mainly just the sidestep. Just 5 points for sidestep. Originally, I was putting the motorcycle on her for some reason, and I was like, why am I doing that? I can just save 10 points and give her a cloak for sidestep. Oh, it's because of the extra +1 speed, which, you know, 10 points is not worth that. So yeah, this is all you really need. 5 points for that sidestep. That's 2 more squares of movement. She can carry everybody up. And that is very, very good for this team. Now, for Black Leopard, I actually had him equipped with 2 rings, the first of which was the Influence Ring, which gives him Force Blast and free choose a character within 3 squares in line of fire, knock that character back 1 square. Pretty much just did that to get some extra free damage in, potentially, from the knockback. Honestly, this almost never came up. I think I pulled that off 1 or 2 times the entire tournament. So I would probably switch this one out if I were to do things differently. If I were to switch that out, I'd probably switch it out for the Nightbringer ring, because the stealth and free smoke cloud would be kind of nice for him. Or just one of the other rings. I don't know. But the other ring I played, I actually had to borrow from a friend because it's one of the few I don't own. But I had the spin ring on him, and that's the main one that was really handy. Spin ring mainly just lets you place a character 1 square away from their current square. It lets you do something else too, but the main thing is just that 1 square placement. After she carries everybody up, having him use the ring to place somebody an extra square was sometimes very crucial. There was a few times that we really needed that extra square of placement. It also comes in handy to move people away from each other just for, like, you know, so they can't mastermind onto somebody, or in the case of like the Ghost Rider, so you can actually outwit other people's powers and stuff like that. So there's just, you know, Spin Ring was just really good to have. There's a lot of little situations where it comes up. So it was nice, but that's pretty much what I had on him, was Influence for the knockback and Spin for the placement. You know, it's just a lot of moving around, basically. Now, the next one, again, very familiar here for the same team that I played back in the day, the Chase Black Widow from the Black Widow movie set. She's super good. Even to this day, she was doing a lot of work for the team. So she does a lot of stuff, if you guys don't already know. So this first one actually got errated. It used to say if she's on a theme team or your starting force has 2 other characters from the Black Widow movie set, standard friendly characters can't have their attack rolls of 10 or more re-rolled, and opposing characters targeting those characters can't have their attack rolls of 4 or less re-rolled. So basically it's just a map-wide thing that says, you know, all of your opponent's attacks of 4 or less can't be rerolled, and all of your attacks of 10 or more can't be rerolled. I guess specifically against standard characters, which, you know, most of them are standard, so that doesn't really matter too much. So yeah, it's a really strong effect. You know, map-wide, shutting off rerolls for your high rolls and their low rolls was actually really good. It was actually so good to the point where they errated it so that now she has to remove 2 of her tradecraft tokens to be able to use it. And if you take a look at her other trait here that gives her stealth, she also starts the game with 5 tradecraft tokens, and you can take a free action to remove a tradecraft token to choose an opposing character within 6 squares in line of fire, and until your next turn, that character can't use a standard power unless it's displayed on their dial as a colored square, and can't have their combat values positively modified. So she gets to start with 5 tradecraft tokens, so to remove 2 to get this effect means that you either remove it right away or you just never use it. To be honest, I stopped using it after a while. I usually like to keep the tradecraft tokens on her because I use them more for her other effects. Like, for one, this effect is insanely good still to this day. Shutting off everything that's not a colored square on their dial is nuts, especially against some characters like Kong. If you wait till their Kong's double tokened and you hit him with that, guess what? No willpower for you, Kong. You're gonna have to clear like the rest of us. And it also means that if you hit him onto a stop click, he doesn't get to use Impervious. So you can just ping him for one, poison him, whatever, and he will go down. So yeah, really good against Kong, I found, and really strong against a lot of other characters. Like Legacy Thanos as well is another good example. He only has like invuln on his dial. Everything else he gets from his traits. He has a million things he can do from his traits, but yeah, none of that is a colored power on his dial. So she really shuts down that a lot if you can get to him. And then she also has a stop click that when it's first revealed, you can remove all of her tradecraft tokens and heal her that many clicks. So when she gets hit to that, she has to remove whatever tokens she has left, heal up a couple clicks, and then she can survive another hit onto a stop click. Her stop click actually is pretty pathetic, though. It's like the worst stats ever. It just stops her from dying, and then maybe heal her a couple, and then maybe stop her from dying one more time. But yeah, still a stop click is nice. Improved movement for elevated is also nice. And then she also has leadership and outwit. And then outwit also on top of this thing is actually pretty nuts. She can turn off so much stuff. But then it also has free remove a tradecraft token to generate a Widow's Recruit or a Widow's Initiate on click number 1. You pretty much always want to generate the Recruit. You don't ever want to generate the Initiate. I can almost and never think of a reason why you'd want to generate anything but this one. This one's absolutely nuts because she has poison on her top click, her whole dial really, she's got poison. And the cool thing about that, besides just being poison, that, when you generate the character, it goes next to her, and then they can immediately poison, which is super duper strong, but it's even better because whenever they start the game, they can choose a character or a team ability, and she deals penetrating damage to that character or opposing characters with that team ability with her poison. Her poison deals penetrating damage. So yeah, I mean, it was super ridiculous back in the day. It's still super ridiculous to just generate one of these things adjacent to her, pick a character, penetrating poison, and then still be able to attack if you want to. So yeah, very, very strong, especially after being phase teleport carried 14 plus squares away to get her right into position where you need to drop that poison for the most effect. It's really good, and it's still good. So yeah, Black Widow just does too much good stuff, and if you actually look at her dial, it's not bad at all. 6 range double target, 10 movement running shot, 12 attack penetrating blast, 18 combat reflexes. She's got Avengers initiative to see through hindering, and she's got stealth, she's got outwit, leadership, a lot of good stuff. Turning off everything is super strong. Generating those characters is ridiculous. 100 points is a lot, but she's very much worth it in my opinion, even to this day. I also had her equipped with the Darkhold, which, she already has outwit, but pretty much what I would do every time is choose Perplex turn 1, so that turn 1 she could perplex up Voyager's movement speed, and then once we all move up there in place and everything, then she can swap it to Prob, and, just have that probability control on standby for your attacks, because we are getting a lot of attacks in. So Voyager is carrying up Black Leopard, Black Widow, and also, boom, we had the Iron Man from the Hall of Armor Iconics. And I'll admit, I thought these were all right when I first got to open and preview them. And I don't know, I didn't think they were anything too crazy, but after some more thought and some practice and playing around with them, they're pretty freaking awesome. So I don't really want to go over every single one of them and what they can all do, but I did start with this one for not really any particular reason. I just started with him because he was not one that I would want to switch into, if that makes sense. Because if you don't know, they all have this ability, the Shifting Focus Hall of Armor, so You know, if you don't know what a shifting focus ability is, it's just free. If they began your turn on the map, you swap them with another one on the same click number. But he also has actually a lot more to it than the normal one, which is if you did after resolutions, you may generate a character with this trait from your sideline on click number 11, adjacent to the replacement character. This game, the generated character can't use this trait and isn't scored when KO'd. So super good. They all have a click number 11. With like both of their special powers. So this guy actually has a really cool power on click number 11. So sometimes I would like to bring him out as my extra one. So basically when you swap them, you get to swap them like shifting focus, but when you do, you get to generate an extra one adjacent to the one you swapped in on click number 11. So you get a whole extra figure out of it every time you swap, which is pretty cool. But the reason I like to swap and bring this one out sometimes is because of this perplex, that when he uses it to target a character with the armor or robot keyword after resolutions, heal that character a click if it's friendly, or deal that character 1 penetrating damage if it's opposing. This is super duper good because of how many Sentinels are in Silver Age games right now. Tri-Sentinels all over the place. And there's other robots that are good too. Like I actually ended up using this against the Chase Doom, you know, the Doom chases that can all swap in at the beginning of the game. One of them is a robot that limits your actions. And so this was really good against him to get some free damage in. So yeah, sometimes if they had any Sentinels, I'd swap to him, just perplex him down and, you know, penetrating damage them to death from that. But usually I'd like to swap into this guy as the main one because he's got super senses and shape change and outwit. So you got double rollouts. He can sidestep, carry if he has to. Yeah, and just outwit. So pretty awesome to swap into this guy after you move up. Sometimes I would generate this guy on click number 11 if I just wanted to punch something really hard. But most of the time, I would actually generate this guy on click number 11. This is kind of my go-to because of his special attack power is poison. And when he uses it, opposing characters within range that occupy water terrain are considered adjacent. And he deals penetrating damage to opposing characters that have the armor or ruler keywords. So that's pretty nice. I feel like that didn't really come up a lot, at least not that I noticed, because Kong has ruler, but he can reduce penetrating. But yeah, just another free poison, you know, again, same thing for the Black Widow, right? You know, when you swap one of the Iron Mans, let's say you started with this one, you swap to this one, and then you generate this guy next to him. Now he can poison everybody that's adjacent because he wasn't moved or placed this turn. He was just generated. He was just brought in the game right here. You know, same rules as the Widow's recruits, just free poison damage. Besides that, though, we also had the Thor Buster Iron Man, which I would occasionally generate to get, you know, a big energy explosion off, especially if they had power cosmic, so they couldn't use any powers for that energy explosion. It was pretty good on his click 11 there. So yeah, I mean, it's all very situational, you know, it just really depends on what they have and how you want to counter it. Like I said, usually I'd go into this one because he's best defensively. He can outwit something, and, you know, he can generate this guy for some free poison. So that was kind of the go-to move. Unless they had a Sentinel or something, then you'd probably want to generate this one for the Perplex that does the free penetrating. But yeah, there's lots of cool things you can do with these. I actually am a huge fan of this set now. I was already a fan of it just because it was cool, but I actually really, really like the playstyle of these. They were so much fun to play. And I really, really wanted to play a War Machine on the sideline so that when one of these got hit, I could just pop him in there. But like I said, the sideline was cut in half. So instead of like the normal 6 for a 300-point game, this was a 400-point game, which means it went up to 8 sideline slots, but then it's cut in half to 4. So I only had exactly enough for the Iron Mans and pretty much nothing else. All right, so that's the main strategy so far, is I had Voyager carrying up Iron Man, Black Leopard, and Black Widow, so that Iron Man could swap, you know, get a free attack and some poison or something in with the one that he generates. She could remove a tradecraft token to generate recruit to poison and attack, and he, meanwhile, is making everybody's defenses super low for those attacks to hit. And actually, the way that we're making his defenses super low is pretty important, because I was also playing the 25-point Ant-Man, and the reason being is literally just for his special effect that can make somebody big or tiny. So you can see here his special movement power has charge, sidestep, stealth, free, choose an adjacent character. That character gains tiny or giant size until the beginning of your next turn. That was actually errated to say until the end of your next turn. I think the main reason for that being that, the beginning of your next turn, if you pick giant size, you wouldn't get to roll the willpower ever. So I don't know if that's why they changed it specifically or not, but being changed that little bit just makes him so much better for this team. Because that way, before you move with her, you have him take a free action to make Black Leopard giant, which she can still carry giants. Remember, I said that was important. So Black Leopard is now giant, can see over everybody to make all the opposing characters have maximum, 17 defense. And on offense, they have maximum 10 attack. And then on your next turn, you still have your whole turn of him making a maximum 17 defense before he goes back to being tiny. So you get 2 whole turns of that while you're sitting up there in their face. And he just has to sit in the start area. His job is done. All he really does is he has Perplex, so he perplexes her movement speed up as well. Like I said, we use the Darkhold from her to get it +2. We can also use a Perplex from somewhere else to get it +3 if we want to use his or somebody else's. But yeah, and then he takes a free action to make him giant, and he doesn't really do anything else. He can slowly start sidestepping up if you want to, or he can kind of just chill back there. But yeah, 25 points, might seem like a lot just for that, but let me tell you, it was huge. Him being actually giant, and it is a huge thing, besides him actually being huge, it's a huge deal. It really, really helped. I cannot stress that enough. Actually being able to see over everybody, because one of the oldest tricks in the book with this guy is you just, move up characters around him. He can't see line of fire to their other characters. You pinch off those lines of fire, and his effectiveness goes way down. So him being giant, just a massive bonus to him. But that's not all. Besides being able to carry these 3 up and everything they could do, we have another character here, Miss Marvel. She was actually able to do quite a bit as well, because if you don't already know, we'll go over her real quick. So taking a look at her card here, first of all, she does have traded Close Combat Expert and Shape Change. We were playing her at the 50-point line, so the Close Combat Expert for the +1 attack definitely comes up. She also has Avengers TA for the +1 attack, so pretty easy to get her to a 12. She has another trait here. When establishing theme teams, you can choose a keyword for her to gain this game. That's important. There's no stipulations to that. When establishing theme teams, you can choose a keyword for her to gain. So I did actually have her equipped with the Sinestro Core ring to give her Perplex, and she chose Sinestro Core keyword. So she didn't get the ring for free. I still had to pay points for that, because that's assigned in paid points during force construction, and this is when establishing theme teams, so it's too late to get it for free, but it does let her take a free action to generate a bystander, to generate one of the constructs. So that was super good. She also has that if she's on a theme team for a keyword printed on her card, she can use prob control. So again, printed on her card, it's Avengers. She gets prob control. If it's for something not printed on her card, she gets perplex. That doesn't matter. I'm already giving her perplex from the ring. So yeah, she has perplex and prob that way, and she can free action generate constructs. And then the main reason we're actually playing her, besides how good that is that she has on her movement power free, choose one to last until you choose again. Until you choose again being the keyword there. Tiny size, and when an adjacent character begins a move after resolutions, you may place Miss Marvel adjacent to them. And then regular size and flurry, or colossal size and charge, which does come in handy sometimes to get a huge charge quake radius, which can be really awesome. But yeah, first turn, very important, turn 1 that you pick tiny size for her, because that way she stays tiny size with that ability to place adjacent to friendlies that move. So once you move Voyager up carrying those 3, she can also, place adjacent, as long as you had her adjacent at the beginning of the move. Then even if you sidestep, she places. If she moves full, then she places again. And then she's in position to choose either regular size flurry if she's already next to somebody, or she can choose colossal size and charge, so she can charge quake everybody. Either one is good. Either one is great. Both good options there. Plus, she's got Perplex and Prob, and she can free generate a construct like a boot that can punch somebody and free knock them back, or a chainsaw that could, flurry blades on somebody. So yeah, she was doing a lot. She was really, really strong. And that was pretty much it, except for my last 10 points. I was playing Giant Girl as a 10-point retaliator. So long trait here that basically just says you pay 10 points for every click of her health that she has. Also, she may heal past her chosen starting line, but she can't heal except by this trait. When she KOs an opposing character after resolutions, you can roll a d6 and heal her equal to the number of clicks, or equal to half the result. So, yeah, it's pretty cool. If she ever KOs somebody, she can heal past her start line, which is nice. It doesn't really come up. It didn't really come up for me. But then she also just has power action. If no other colossal retaliation effect has been activated this turn, choose an opposing character that attacked Giant Girl or damaged a friendly character since your last turn. Place her such that she can make a close attack and then do so. So yeah, just a retail effect. A power action instead of free kind of sucks, but she is just 10 points. She's got 10 movement charge, 10 attack, 17 combat reflexes, 3 damage. And she has no indifference effect. There's no colossal indifference. So she can attack smaller characters all she wants. If you really just want to move her up there and charge on somebody, go for it. Or even after she's retailed, then she can still continue to, attack somebody else every turn. To be honest, I usually just had better things to do with my actions. But, a retail is a retail, and I'll take it. Just an extra attack coming in from across the map after we've already left them in the dust. Because the only other thing she can do is maybe carry Ant-Man up, because Ant-Man's just kind of chilling in the starting area. But yeah, that's pretty much the team, you guys. I guess I can't really say it worked out super well, because I didn't really place or anything. But I would have played this same team in the actual 400-point silver event. I was considering dropping Ant-Man for a Scott Porter, but in all honesty, I think Ant-Man, he did enough just by making him giant. Like I said, that was super useful, and I wouldn't really want to lose that. So I think I would play exactly the same team again. Unfortunately, I didn't get a chance to play in the main championship event. I kind of had to leave, but it is what it is. Anyway, the team was super fun, just carrying everybody up there, generating all those things, getting all those attacks like nobody sees it coming. So if you guys are playing any Silver Age events, I would highly recommend checking out, a team similar to this, just using Voyager to carry up a team that can, drop a bunch of free stuff is really, really strong. Her with a cloak, and a couple of perplexes can get you all the way across the map. Because, like I said, I use perplex here from Ant-Man, a perplex from the Darkhold, and usually a perplex from one of these two if I needed the extra square, if we're on a big map, right? Because that way she could sidestep 2 and then carry everybody 14 plus 3, so 17 squares, plus the sidestep is 19 squares. And remember, on a big map, the starting areas are actually 2 squares deep. So starting from square 2, moving up 19 squares puts you, at square 21, right? So she can drop all of them at square 22 in front of her, and that is like right in front of your opponent's starting area or whatever. So, yeah, pretty crazy. From there, you can just, drop things to poison, get a free knockback, maybe get a couple attacks, attack with her, drop a construct to attack, etc., etc. And then after all that, it's super hard for them to retaliate against you because everything's max 10 attack. And there's just literally nothing they can do about it. So like I said, it worked out pretty well a few times. It was a ton of fun. I just had so much fun playing this team. Like I said, playing with the Iron Man swaps was like super duper fun. Playing with my old team again was super duper fun, and enhancing it with some newer figures, it was just a blast. I had a ton of fun at the event. Meeting everybody was great. But yeah, that's about all I have to say about the team. If you guys have any questions, make sure to let me know in the comments. I'd be happy to answer them for you. And if you guys enjoyed the video, don't forget to smash the like button because it does help me out a lot. And don't forget to click that subscribe button so you don't miss any future videos. But if you guys would like to help support the channel even more, you can check the links in the description for the Patreon, or hit the join button down there for the YouTube memberships. Either way, for as little as $1 a month, you guys get entered into my monthly giveaways, and you get to see your name here in the credits with all these other awesome people. So if that interests you, make sure to check it out. But that's going to do it for this one, you guys. Thanks again so much for watching. Till next time, this has been Heroclix Headquarters, signing off.